Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on your time zone. We're so thrilled you're here with us. My name is Elizabeth Wheeler, and besides sending you emails about how to order pizza, I'm also an Atlassian enthusiast, certified individual, and Wade Cornett's co-host for today's event. I'm thrilled to present Wade Cornett, the man, the myth, the legend, an exceptional leader in the field of IT service management, and as our distinguished speaker for today's event. As the mastermind behind our ITSM practice, Wade has brought his expertise to bear on Atlassian's enterprise service management solution, Jira Service Management, and has paved the way for countless organizations to achieve ITSM excellence. Welcome, Wade. Thank you for agreeing to another one of my crazy ideas. And I hope everyone who ordered pizza has received their pizza. And with that, I'm just curious, while I finish talking to Wade, I'm going to drop a poll in there. I'm curious how that is. Wade, today you're talking to us about ITSM and Jira Service Management. We have a big audience, but of course we want to make this as interactive as possible. How can people ask you questions?
Well, thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you for the glowing introduction. I think this is being recorded, so I'm excited to share this with everyone I know at the end.
Send it to mom.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to cut it off right here, and that's all they'll see. All right, well, thank you guys, everyone, for being here again. As Elizabeth said, I hope you all got your pizza. I know I'm looking forward to mine, but I'm told I can't eat on camera, so I will enjoy mine later. But yes, we want this event to be interactive. We want you guys to be able to ask me questions, as many as you guys have. So down at the bottom of Zoom, there is a Q&A option. Feel free to put your questions there, and I will answer them as we go. So I do just want to kind of level set on the agenda for today. I'm going to start out here, and I'm going to just briefly talk at a very high level about Jira Service Management. What is it? Who is it for? And then I'm going to be walking you through the Help Center or the customer portal, and just kind of talking you through at a fundamental level, what this is, who's submitting requests, and some different personas within JSM. And then throughout the middle of this, or the large body of this event today, I am going to be doing 3 very targeted, in-depth demos relating to the ITSM feature set of Jira Service Management. So we have 4 demos that I'll be doing today: the Help Center, the walkthrough, the level set, and then Service Request Management, Incident Management, and Change Management within Jira Service Management. So as I'm going through each one of these demos, please feel free to submit your questions in that Q&A section. And when I get to the end of the demo, we'll spend some time answering them. So go ahead, flood me with as many questions as you guys have, and I will answer as many as I can before I move on to the next section. And if we have time at the end, I will answer as many as you guys have. So the way to get the most out of this class really is to just ask your questions in the chat. And I'll be showing you some really cool things. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. So hopefully you can all see my screen okay. I am zoomed in a little bit, but I want to give you guys the full picture here. So just at a high level, I want to talk about what is Jira Service Management. So Jira Service Management at its core is an IT service management ticketing solution, which was developed to help organizations manage and deliver high quality IT services to customers and internal teams. The power of Jira Service Management really allows teams to accelerate the flow of work and visibility between development and IT. Now, it's much more than that too, because Jira Service Management is not just your standard old ITSM ticketing solution. It can also be used by business teams for more of that enterprise service management functionality as well. So for teams such as legal, HR, marketing, design teams, you name it, there's a whole lot you can do within Jira Service Management. And Atlassian has done a really good job in building out templates for teams that might be smaller and to be able to jump right into Jira Service Management and experience that. So hopefully that's a good level set just really quickly as to what JSM and who is actually using this tool. Now, I just want to level set on some terminology and personas because you'll hear me using some terms throughout this event that maybe don't make a ton of sense. Within Jira, as well as Jira Service Management, there is a hierarchy of people, right? We all know that. It's the users, it's the admins. Well, Jira Service Management is ever so slightly different. At our lowest tier, or at our highest tier, depending on how you look at them, is going to be our customers, or the people actually requesting tickets out on your portal or via email. These are non-licensed users. They can definitely be internal to your organization, but these are the people that are actually submitting requests. So you are going to hear me reference customers a lot throughout this event. So understand that that's who they are. Now, above the customer really is the agent. These are the people that are going to be managing and fulfilling these tickets as they come in. And then above that are the project administrators or the Jira administrators. But we probably won't be going that deep today. So this is not just your boring slide deck, presentation demo. So we're going to hop right into walking around the tool.
On behalf of all of us, thank you.
Yeah, right, exactly. Steve actually showed me a graphic the other day, and I was like, this is the best graphic I have ever seen. It makes so much sense. I've never been more blown away by a graphic. So we're gonna hop right in here, and I'm going to be doing our first demo, if you will, but it's really just a walkthrough. So as I'm going, please feel free to submit your questions down in that Q&A section, and when I get to the end of this, we will talk through them. All right, so what we're seeing here on my screen is the Help Center. Now, the Help Center, as we affectionately call it here at XPM, is what we call the portal of portals. So this is the first landing page that your customers and or requesters will land on when they come to your Help Center for to submit a request to get the help that they need. At the top, there's just some general information. Users can see the number of requests that they have submitted in the past, requests that have been closed, or requests that are requiring approval. They can also see requests that that another individual has submitted that maybe has been shared with them, and we'll talk about all of that more. There are some profile settings up here in the top right that we will get into just ever so briefly, but really the core of the Help Center here is this search bar. Now, this is a smart search feature. For larger organizations, they have more than just 3 portals here. There might be 10 portals, 15 portals, and you can really tailor what your customers see. So if they don't have access to submit IT service desk tickets, they're not going to see that portal. But potentially you may have a lot of portals out here with all of their own individual requests, which is what makes this smart search feature so beneficial. A customer can come in and they can start typing to find the help or information that they need to facilitate their needs. So just at a high level, I kind of want to walk you through some of the capabilities of this search feature. Say I'm an internal employee and I'm having a problem logging into my VPN. I could come up here and I just need, I need VPN help, right? So if I search VPN help, I'm going to see all of the requests that relate to VPN, like that relate to my VPN. So I can see I have a request here to submit to get IT help. I can set up my VPN home office, report a systems problem, you name it. Multiple requests that all relate to that VPN search. But also I'm recommending knowledge base articles that relate to my VPN. So because of that keyword VPN there, I have articles being suggested. I've got my setup, my VPN to work from home article, or I have a VPN troubleshooting article. And these knowledge base articles are completely free for both of your external and internal customers to view, to hopefully self-help. So you can see here we just have some dummy text so you can see how it presents, and then this really cute picture of a cat here. But you can display this.
Is that your cat?
That is not my cat. My cat is much more fluffy. I don't know whose cat that is, but he is orange. I call him Orange Boy.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
I'm here to ask the questions that people want to know.
That's what they want to know. Mm-hmm. I'll have to add a picture of him in there. So we have this knowledge base article that a user can come to and self-help. Maybe they, the information they find in this VPN troubleshooting article, they can use to actually not submit a ticket and get the help that they need. So that would actually count as a deflected requests in Jira Service Management's reporting capabilities. So we can measure how many knowledge base articles have been viewed, how many people that viewed a knowledge base article did not submit a ticket afterwards, or how many people viewed a knowledge base article and then still submitted a ticket anyways. And the thought process behind that really is to refine your knowledge base. If maybe there's some information that's lacking, you can update that knowledge base article to hopefully deflect more and more of those requests and take the weight off of your agents. So going back to the demo here, really the idea is that this smart search feature will show you relative knowledge base articles that relate to your search, as well as request types that apply to the search as well, so that you can quickly jump in and get the help that you need. So for my VPN example, right, maybe I want to submit a ticket to get some IT help because my VPN really is down. Now I can jump directly into my IT Service Desk's portal from there and right into the Get IT Help request type. Also, we are using Statuspage, which I will get into briefly later today. But we can see that we have an alert being displayed from Statuspage that our website is actually down, just as a nice little blurb being displayed in our portal. But now we're presented with this request form. Now these can be either very lightweight or very dynamic. So I think early last year or towards the end of last year, Atlassian acquired a marketplace application named Proforma, which allowed for dynamic form capabilities. So you can display fields in a conditional manner. And now that is fully included in Jira Service Management at no additional cost. But in the case of this example, this is just a very basic request form where I'm gathering some very brief information. So now as a requester, I can provide a short description or a summary of the problem that I'm experiencing. And I'll just say that my VPN is not working. And we can see here as a second line of defense for to deflect requests, based on my search in my summary field, I'm also being displayed knowledge base articles again. Maybe the customer that came to the help center did not decide to search for a knowledge base article as well. So when they are submitting their request here in the summary line, so long as that summary contains a keyword within the knowledge base article, we can search and display those for the customer. So we're seeing those here again as a last line of defense. Then I can provide a brief description. I'm not sure, it just won't work. And I could add any attachments, screenshots, you name it. But I can also specify the reason that I am submitting this request. So this is just a general drop-down field. And now I can submit this ticket. So just as just really quickly to kind of walk through the customer experience, which at the end of the day really is probably the most important thing, is the level of service and the quality of service that you're going to offer to your customers. Once their ticket is submitted, whether you're using the dynamic forms or the basic form, the customer or requester will see a description of all of the fields and the information that they provided. They can also see the status of their ticket. They have the ability to enable or disable notifications. And then, now this is completely customizable, but they do have the ability to actually either escalate the issue or resolve the ticket themselves. But you can configure that however you'd like. But if I felt like I wasn't getting the level of service that I required or I needed at the time, I could escalate this. And then down below, they do have the ability to communicate directly with the agent. Now, this is a full wiki text editor down here, so you can format, add files, add images, all right here from the from this comment section. On ticket submission, though, the customers will get an email saying that, hey, your request has been submitted. Here's a way for you to view it. Those customers can also reply to that email, and those will be tracked and logged on the ticket as comments. So they can reply with screenshots or files directly from their phone or laptop so that they don't have to come back to the portal if they don't want to. But you aren't losing that visibility into the communication that's happening. And then lastly, we do have the ability to share this ticket. Maybe we want to share it with a coworker, a manager, or just some other person that needs visibility into this request. It can be, numerous numbers of people or large groups of people. You can share it with an entire organization or someone outside with a public email address. That's really going to depend on how you set up your customers and then the permissioning of the portal itself. So like I said here, this is the ticket that has been submitted. And to round this demo out for your customers that maybe don't have license access to Jira or Jira Service Management, there is some high-level reporting that they can do out here on the portal. So your customers that have submitted requests or have ever had requests shared with them, they can come here and they can view all of those tickets and do some basic filtering to view past tickets that have actually been submitted. And this can be edited ever so slightly, but just know that there is a way to report on previous tickets so that customers can go back and find what they had submitted before. All right, so that was just a very quick high level to level set on a high level overview to really level set on the Help Center, how these requests are coming into Jira Service Management, and what your customers can expect if they are going to be using the portal. So I am going to pause really quickly before we get into anything else and see if anybody has any questions about anything they saw, the customers themselves, how we manage them, and then the options we have around customization of the portal. There's a lot we can do there in terms of customization. You can add images, you can add different colors, you can change a lot of the texts. This is just a demo, so we try to keep it pretty bare bones and not overwhelm anyone, but you can do quite a bit of manipulation out here on the portal. And also, if there is more customization that is needed, there are marketplace add-ons that you can use to really refine the look and feel of that portal. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause for some questions, and we'll go from there. So I do have a question here, and for all of you that maybe can't see this, it says, does a user have to be licensed to interact with the portal or submit a ticket? Great question. The answer to that is no. So customers, whether they are internal or external to your organization, do not need a license to be able to submit a ticket or view knowledge base articles out on the portal. You can use either a known Atlassian account if they are internal to the organization, or on the portal itself, we have what are called portal-only accounts. So your customers can actually come to your help center and create a portal-only account for your organization that they can sign into and submit tickets from. So that is completely free, no licenses required. Great question. I have another one here. It says, can you relate and auto-populate assigned CI, so configuration item, at time of ticket submittal? Great question. I will actually be showing you something very, very similar. I wouldn't actually call it a CI, but I will be showing you something pretty similar to that when I do my service request demo. The customer is going to request a new laptop, and it will take their user and associate their current device for the agent, as well as pull one out of stock from the asset database and offer it to the customer. So the answer to that is yes, and I'll be showing you something very similar here in a couple minutes.
I'm really excited by this next question. Mostly it's because it's from one of my friends. We go way back. Javier, thanks for asking about customizing the portals. I'm curious, I know there are various options that you can do out of the box. I'm curious what you can do with an add-on, but I know that we frequently are pulling in our full stack development shop to kind of help people get exactly the look and feel and functionality that they want that isn't available in the marketplace.
Definitely, and great question, and nice to see you out there in the audience, Javier. Your question, can you share other products for customizing the portal? I can certainly provide a list of marketplace applications to help refine the portal. The big one that comes to mind, and my personal favorite, I get no benefit from selling this, so I'm just going to go out and say it. Refined is a great marketplace add-on that will allow you to do a lot of look and feel customization, reskin your help center, reskin your portals, and really fine-tune that experience. But as Elizabeth said, now there is a shameless plug here. We do have a full stack custom development division, arm, whatever you want to call it, of Expium and Valiantus, and we've had a lot of success really building a vast array of different portal offerings. So, to get a little bit technical here, we do have the ability to embed certain things on the portal in the way of iframes. So I can speak to some things that we've done in the past. We did work with a market data feed company a while back. They for their customers, they wanted to display live stock market info on their portal. So we were able to embed iframes and pull data from the stock market to display as a feed on the help center and the portals when people were submitting their requests. We've also had a lot of luck building applications that lie on top of the not a lot of luck, but a lot of experience building applications that lay on top of the help center to display essentially a completely unique offering that lays directly on top of Jira Service Management, uses the asset management system, and the life cycle of what was being requested was tracked all throughout JSM, but the offering was very unique, very tailored. It felt much more like Amazon than submitting a request. So great question. Looks like I got a bunch rolling in here. I am I'm going to kind of go through some of these maybe a little bit quicker just to make sure we stay on pace, but I've got another one. It says, for organizations that have multiple groups wanting to use Service Desk, what is the best recommended practice? For organizations that have multiple groups wanting to use Service Desk, what is?
Do you think it's like multiple service desks are having one portal with many different functions? That's the way I'm.
It's a good question. So for organizations that have multiple groups wanting to use the Service Desk, what is the recommended best practice? So I'm just going to take a kind of a shot in the dark. I'm having a hard time understanding that one. But essentially, within our help center here, we have 3 portals displayed. One is for IT, HR, and then the other is for facilities. So within an organization, if you have multiple groups of people, you can create a portal or a Jira Service Management project specifically for each one of those groups if what they are requesting is unique and there really isn't a lot of overlap. Now, if what all of those groups are requesting are the same, I would recommend you have just one intake portal for them. But then based on the permissioning, they may only see the one that does apply to them. All right, hope that answers your question. And I'll be providing my email, so if that didn't, you guys can follow up with me after this. But this might be for later. But how do you get the help articles from Confluence Space to pop up so seamlessly based on what the customer is searching? Great question. So Jira Service Management is Jira Service Management has a out-of-the-box included knowledge base that is powered by Confluence. So as of recently, within the past year, this is now a free or included offering around the knowledge base itself. You can link Confluence Spaces to your Jira Service Management project, and it will display those knowledge base articles based off labels or keywords or kind of however you want to tailor that. But there is no custom work done there to display those articles so seamlessly. It is all included, and the beauty is, your agents do not need Confluence licenses. That is included in Jira Service Management out of the box to get that knowledge base function there. I have another question here. Can I differentiate customer versus portal?
And then if you...
Oh, customer versus people. I don't know if that helps me. Sorry.
Is that, I think, maybe internal versus external, do you think?
Yeah, maybe. So thanks, Elizabeth. If you are asking from a perspective of how do I differentiate external customers versus internal customers, well, there actually are some exciting new updates coming to Jira Service Management soon that I can't speak about just yet, but you should see some big buzz flying around relatively shortly. But you can essentially have your Atlassian accounts that have your domain claimed and are managed by your organization. Those requests will all come in, and you will have a known account of who submitted that. And based on that, you can route that to specific queues or manage those tickets in a specific manner. But also you have the concept of those portal-only accounts that I spoke to earlier. Those accounts exist not as Atlassian accounts, but specifically to your help center. So my xbmdemo.atlassian.net can have portal-only accounts that can only be used to log in here. And those tickets for those users will be associated to them and the organizations that they're a part of. I hope that does answer your question. Okay, this next question is an exciting one because I know the person who asked this well. I heard the other day he has a new nickname. So his boss has been calling him a geek, so a Jira geek. So sorry.
You're a geek too.
Thanks. Yeah, we are geeks, right?
We're geeks.
So anyways, question is, are customers able to share submitted tickets via link, or is it limited? Sorry, my questions keep jumping around.
Sorry, I'm trying to clean up your
No, you're fine. Are customers able to share submitted tickets via link, or is it limited to the share with feature on the tickets portal page? Great question. They have to actually be shared with from the portal or CC'd on an email that is on the same thread of the request created. So if you're emailing tickets in, anyone CC'd on that email that creates a ticket will be added as a request participant, so they can view and comment on that ticket. Or if you are submitting your ticket via portal, you would have to share it with them from there. Or third option, if a ticket was created from the portal and you replied to that email with someone CC'd on it that wasn't on the original ticket, that ticket would then become shared with them. So I hope that helps. All right, I'm going to do two more here. I do apologize, but I do want to move on to our next demos, and that's where the real fun stuff comes. All right, next question. Can a copy of the ticket be opened in another project, not JSM, and still be reported back to the customer in the portal? Great question. That is all out of the box functionality. So the process flow of that is so when a ticket is created in Jira Service Management through any channel that you can then take requests from, you can run automation for Jira, which does exist out of the box at no additional cost, to create a ticket in a Jira software or a Jira work management project. And then throughout that automation, it is you link the two tickets together. So potentially if we have a bug that is submitted to our IT service desk and a bug ticket is then created in our software project, the developer can add comments directly to his software ticket or the bug ticket that was submitted by the customer, and the agent can then funnel that information out. And you can do that either in a manual way, or you can do that using automation to really streamline that process. But a lot of efficiency gains there. Yeah.
Awesome. Before you go to your next demo, I'm curious who wants to go to Jira Service Management Bootcamp. So I am loving the attendance, the interaction. Thanks, guys. This is what makes it fun. If you want to go, the next one is June 20th to June 21st. It's a 2-day class. We will send you for free, but I need to know who wants to go. So we'll pick a couple winners throughout today's event. So if you just let me know that that's something interesting for you, you'll be in the running to win. It is transferable. So maybe you're here, but there's somebody else on your team that you think would benefit more. We're happy to exchange that. So let me know. And thanks, Wade.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so I did say 2 more questions. I'm going to get to the last one now, and that question is, what is the difference? What is the difference between service desk customers and users? Yeah, good question. So a service desk customer is a non-licensed, we'll just say non-licensed person in general. They can come to your help center. They can submit requests, they can view knowledge base articles, and they can also email requests in at no cost. They are the customers are the ones submitting that ticket. The users, or in this case, we'll say agents, actually do consume a Jira Service Management license, and they are the ones that will be fulfilling those tickets or resolving them. So I hope that helps. All right. Well, all good things. If you guys do have more questions, I will try to get to them all at the end, but I do want to make sure we have enough time to cover the rest of these much more in-depth demos. Anything else you want to add?
No, it's great.
All right, guys. So we now have an understanding of what JSM is and who it's for. And now what I want to go to and pivot to is these ITSM features. So ITSM, which stands for IT Service Management, is kind of a buzzword these days. It means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. In the eyes of Atlassian, and through the eyes of Jira Service Management itself, ITSM is a lot more than just IT Service Management. It involves ITAM, so IT Asset Management, or ITOM, IT Operations Management. A lot of that is funneled and categorized under that IT Service Management category, or that IT Service Management umbrella. And we'll be talking a little bit through kind of each one of those today through the course of these next 3 demos. So ITSM is a feature set of Jira Service Management. And what it includes is, we'll say 5 separate features, okay? So we have our service requests or service request management. We have incidents or incident management, problems, also named problem management, changes or change management. Also, if you guys are going to take a shot every time I say management, you might not make it to the end of this, but just there's a lot of management.
Shots of pepperoni.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then lastly, post-incident reviews. The 4 ones that I just mentioned really make up that ITIL framework. But ITSM, when we speak about that, is a feature set of Jira Service Management. It's kind of that next level. And so I'm going to be walking you through each one of these demos. And really quickly, I should have said this before I jumped. This is just a quick snapshot of the back end or the agent side of JSM. So what I want to do really quickly is just talk about service request management. What is it? And then kind of do a demo and show you some really cool things that you guys can either grow into, or if you're doing these process currently today within your organization, how Jira Service Management can help you with that. So I'm going to actually come back to the portal here, and we're going to start talking about service request management. So again, and I am going to start here, but if you guys have questions around service request management, please start filling up the chat as I'm going through it. That way I can answer your questions when I get to the end of this demo here. So service request management, what is it? Really, it is managing the life cycle of service requests. Now, service requests can be a multitude of things. This can be requesting a new piece of hardware, requesting a new piece of software, anything that an internal employee, or also sometimes external, might request from an agent that could potentially need to go through an approval process or some sort of procurement process, can all kind of fall under this service request management category. But the idea of that as a practice is managing this life cycle and managing the assets related to it. So I'm going to get into this here, and we're going to take the perspective just really quickly of maybe we've got a developer, maybe I'm a developer in my developer or just anyone in my organization, and I have a company laptop that's associated to me, and I'm having a bad day, so I threw it against a wall and it broke, and so I need to go ask for a new one. I could just maybe walk down the hall and ask for a new laptop, but this is 2023 and we don't do that anymore. We all have portals. So I can come to the portal itself, my IT service desk portal, and I can click in here where it says contact us about computers. And now I can request a new laptop because that's what I'm here to do. And now again, this is just a very brief form, so you don't have to watch me fill out a bunch of wild information. Anyways, I have here my first question that I'm asking, which is my reason for requesting a new laptop. And it's just a brief drop-down field, but we're going to see how powerful this drop-down field can actually be in just a minute. So my reason for requesting this laptop is because my equipment was damaged, right? Because I threw it against the wall. So I can provide some information. I didn't get to eat pizza with everyone, so I threw my laptop, right? And I'm sure that my manager will understand that I'm asking for a new piece of hardware because I was hangry. And then down here at the very bottom, this is kind of unique. So if you guys are familiar with Jira Service Management or just Jira or any Atlassian products, you have a good concept or a good understanding of custom fields. Well, this is a special custom field that exists only if you have Jira Service Management in your instance. And it's called an asset object field. So assets is actually an asset management database that lives within Jira Service Management. Well, it's a separate database, but it's also, I don't even want to call it a separate product, but it is kind of a separate product that is included only on the premium and enterprise tiers of Jira Service Management. It is an asset management database, but it can be so much more than that. It can be a CMDB. It can be a CRM. It can be used for a wide variety of things. But in this case, we are just going to search our asset database for a laptop model that I would like. And so this field is special because it is scoped to display only laptops that I currently have that are listed as in stock. So right now, I only have 3 models that I as an end user can request that are actually in stock in my inventory room. Right, so maybe I want to request this MacBook Pro, and if this was the last laptop in stock, the next person behind me that comes and raises a request, if there were not more purchased by then, would not actually be able to request that MacBook Pro because they would not be in stock. So you can do stock counts, manage all of that in the assets database. But anyways, for the customer, this is very simple. They're saying why they requested a new laptop. They gave some details, and then they selected the one they would like. And now all they have to do is submit it. And then here's our standard ticket submission that we viewed earlier. But what I'm going to do, because there's not a whole lot new here, is I'm going to jump to the agent side of Jira Service Management, and I'm going to walk you through a lot of the power here around service request management and automation for Jira, as well as the assets database. So right now I'm viewing this request, and it's a little smushed right now, so I'm going to zoom out. I hope you can all still see it just fine, but right now I'm viewing this request that was submitted by a customer, by an end user, and here's the information they submitted. They gave us the reason, which was their equipment was damaged. They gave us a description. This person was hangry, so they broke their laptop. And then down here at the bottom, you can see how this looks a little bit different. This is that asset object field that I spoke about, and it has this MacBook Pro selected. So now if I dive in here and I tab down on this asset object, we can see that there's a lot more information actually displayed about this MacBook. I can see the name, I can see the vendor, the screen size, the storage, all of this. So I'm displaying all of this information to the agent to better fulfill this request. But also down here, remember how I said that I was only displaying assets that actually had the status of being in stock? Well, when I submitted this ticket, Automation for Jira actually ran and updated this status to being offered as opposed to in stock. So this is managing our stock counts of the laptops or the hardware that we actually do have. So really cool feature there to manage that. Again, Automation for Jira, for those of you that do not know, is included with any tier of Atlassian products. And it is a low-code, no-code automation builder. So you do not have to have scripting experience to build something like this. In all honesty, if you guys look at it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. So check out Automation for Jira. That's what's powering a lot of this. So now my status has been offered. But for me, the most exciting part of all of this is actually over here to the right. We can see that there's this other asset object field that exists named affected equipment. And if I tab this down, I can see some information. I can see some information about a different laptop, right? This is a MacBook Pro 16-inch 2019, not a 2020 that I just requested, with its name, its serial number, and then the warranty expiration. But check this out. The status is actually damaged. And the reason this status here says damaged is because this customer, when they submitted their ticket, they said the reason that they are requesting this is because their current equipment is damaged. So when I, Wade, submitted my ticket, it added me as a reporter or requester, however you want to look at it. It added me as the reporter for the issue. And Automation for Jira actually ran to, it found my user, and then it found my user in my assets database, and it pulled the current laptop that I was actually using for the past 1 to however many years. And it updated the status of my laptop to damaged. So now the agent handling this request can gather up my laptop and either try to repair it, decommission it, do whatever they're going to do. But now the life cycle of that asset itself is up to date and managed, and there's a history as to what happened to it. And we're going to get into the assets database really quickly here. But before I do that, I just want to show you that because this is a special type of request, it has a more of a unique workflow built out into it, which is requiring an approval. So I know a lot of people use Jira software that maybe don't have JSM, and they kind of hack an approval process. Well, Jira Service Management does have a fully refined approval process built into its workflows. So you can see here this transition option. I can't go anywhere other than canceled. If I try to transition it to waiting for support, it won't let me, but I can cancel it. But it's currently waiting for one approval. And if we scroll down here, we can see that an approver is listed. So Brian Darr has actually gotten a notification that, hey, Wade just requested a new laptop. Here's all the reasons why. Can either approve or deny this request. And it's automatically gone to Brian because our company hierarchy and our organizational structure is built out in the assets database. Brian is actually my manager. So we have automation set up to say, okay, here's Wade, pull his laptop and pull his manager and notify the manager that Wade's requesting a new laptop and it needs approval. So he's the only one that can approve that. And it all happens on creation. But just for the sake of the demo, I will show you really quickly. I'll add myself as an approver, because the real lesson and the takeaway from this class is just always have all the keys to the kingdom. We have this approve or deny option up here that just displayed when I was listed out as an approver. So I can approve this from an email. I can approve this from a portal. I can approve this directly here on the issue view screen itself. And so when I approve it, it's going to transition to the next status in the workflow, which is currently waiting for support. And also my history is going to capture that that Wade actually approved this for auditing purposes and things like that. So it'll also show that I did go in and update the approver myself, so I might get in trouble for that one later. But really quickly, I want to take a dive into the assets database and kind of walk you through this, and then I'm going to pause for some questions. So what we're viewing here is the main page, maybe not the main page, but the beginning page of the assets database. It lists out object schemas. So each object schema is its own unique set of object types. We don't call them assets because the assets database is, well, it can be anything, right? We have a CMDB, we have our CRM, we have our employees actually listed out here, as well as the employees' assets themselves. So really quickly, I want to dive into my employees' assets. And you can see here, I have a list of laptops, all with varying information. But if I look at each one of these, you can see that there are some statuses, like Elizabeth sitting next to me, her laptop's in use, the cost of it, when it was purchased. But we can also see that there's an owner associated to this. And well, obviously it's Elizabeth. But the idea here is that we can view this object graph and visualize the relationships that every object has. And we can drill down into those. So if we have our laptop, the make and model and everything that she currently has, the laptop itself, the physical one that is associated to her with the serial number. And then we can see that that laptop has a relationship to Elizabeth and then the manufacturer. So if we jump down into here, we can click into Elizabeth and we can view everything that is associated to Elizabeth across all of the schemas. We can see she also has a cell phone. She has a monitor. She works.
I have a Brian.
Yeah, well, you have a Brian. She works in St. Louis. She's in the IT department, and she has a Brian. But really, her boss is also Brian. But we can also expand and go further, right? So I can see all of the employees that work in the IT department and all of their relationships because they all work in St. Louis. But I can drill down into Brian and see everything that he consumes. So the assets database really is structured by relationships. It is a relational database, and we can view all of this information on this object graph or quickly navigate to the object itself to get more in-depth information on it. So I can jump over to the Sam object type and see everything that's going on with him. So he's currently employed. Here's his Jira user, his location, department, manager, as well as all the history that's ever happened to Sam. And then we can see references that he has. Sam currently only has one laptop, and here it is. So if I jump over to Jira, I can see all of the, this is not a good example, but I can see all of the Jira issues that have ever had that object itself referenced on it. So I want to show you that really quickly, though. Let's see here, if I come back to my employees, and I go to myself, I can see that I also have a laptop associated with me. But now if I view these open Jira tickets, I can see that there's one new laptop request associated to this laptop. And what I want to do really quickly is jump to this laptop itself. And we can see here that when I'm viewing the laptop, there's one connected Jira issue. So we can filter out an entire history of tickets that have ever referenced an individual asset or an individual object on it. So you can see a whole life cycle of tickets that have ever applied to something. So if you've constantly repaired a laptop because somebody kept breaking it, you would have that entire ticket history tracked and it'd be able to be reported here. So the big takeaway here from the assets database is that it is a relational database. It can be used for traditional CMDB purposes, which I'm showing you just ever so quickly now. You can also build out your company hierarchy, your CRM. I know internally we do use assets as a CRM for all of our clients and people that are associated to the contracts that we're working. You can also use it as a contract management tool or a policy management tool. I've seen a lot of different things done. So really powerful. I could go on and on, but what I do want to do now is kind of flip to your questions so that you guys get the most out of this. And then we'll move on to our next demo so we make sure that we have enough time for everything. So I'm going to jump over and just kind of start answering some of these questions now about service request management, ticket submission, or the assets database, or how I did any of this.
We did get you some help. So some other members of our ITSM team got on the back end and started freeing up the queue. So
oh, wonderful.
So if you want to see those answers, you can go into the Q&A and see what's already been answered. Not that you have to review it, but just
wonderful.
For everybody's knowledge.
Glad people are getting some help. I know I need some. So do you have any specific training on assets or insight? Yes, the answer to that is yes. We do have I typically say 2 days, but it's really about 4 to 5 hours hands-on in a demo environment, start to finish, building the assets database, walking through everything that's possible. Class that you guys can attend, and it is listed out on our website. We will provide you the link.
I just answered it in the questions part. So that's xbm.com. Remember, XBM is a Valiantus company, but xbm.com/training, and you'll see everything. It's brand new. I think it just went on the website this week.
It did. Yep.
So great question. Very timely.
Very timely.
We always love the opportunity for a shameless plug.
So I also taught the class this week too. So it has been done privately multiple times, but it is now publicly available for people to sign up for. All right, next question. Can you provide automation examples of the linking the asset to the requesting user? Yeah, I can show you that really quickly here. So if I come to if I come back to the automation, there's a bunch here, so you're going to have to give me just a minute to find the right one.
While you're finding that, I think we can answer this. Bailey asks, can I create a custom field in the details section for an object?
Can I create a custom field in the details section for an object? Yes. So
I realize I'm trying to layer you a question.
No,
I apologize.
That's all right. So
we're trying to stump you.
No. So we think of them as custom fields, but each object can be built with what are called assets, and they operate not assets, but attributes. They operate very similarly to the like a custom field in Jira. So you have multiple different attribute types that you can add to an object itself to capture any relative information that might be of importance to you. And then when you are displaying that object on the ticket itself, you can choose which attributes you want to be able to search by, or which attributes you want to display on the ticket itself. So here is that automation that associates the user to the laptop when it's submitted. It is very basic. I hope you weren't expecting to be wowed, but here it is. So when the issue is created and it is a laptop request type, then we're editing a custom field, and we have some AQL listed out here. So it actually goes in, it finds the quote unquote attribute that is Jira user and is the owner and the owner attribute, and then it associates them it associates the reporter, the person that submitted the ticket, to those two attributes and sets the value of that affected equipment. So this won't apply to your assets database. You can use the same structure and the same format, but these are custom attributes. And I'll just show you that really quickly. So if I come back to the laptops themselves, you can see I'm referencing owner right here, as well as, so I'm referencing the owner of the laptop, and then on the owner itself, I'm referencing their Jira user, which is a field, but also it's the Atlassian account ID. And when the reporter finds that Jira user, it finds the owner of that laptop and then makes that association. So cool stuff. Got a question here. Does Jira offer bundle purchases? I think I know what you're getting at, and the answer is yes. So when you are deciding to purchase Jira or purchase Jira Service Management or any Atlassian products, you can buy multiple at the same time, right? So if you go to tryjira.com, you will actually be able to, one, start a free trial, but you can purchase both like Jira software, Jira Service Management, and Confluence all at the same time. Now that doesn't necessarily come with a discount per se. Atlassian is running a special for like a 3-year license deal around Jira Service Management if you meet a certain user threshold. But I think that expires either like now or very shortly in the future. But if you are looking for discounts around your Atlassian licensing, we as a partner can certainly help you with that. So anytime you guys are adding new products, increasing user tiers, and when I do say adding new products, I also mean marketplace add-ons. A partner, such as us, can offer you discounts around those upgrades. So if you are not licensing through a partner, I would highly recommend it. It is at no additional cost to you. It really just, it helps you out with a discount. And it also associates you to a partner. So if you ever did need help in the future, you could always call on them. Anything you want to add?
No, I have all the names of the people who told me they want to go to Jira Boot Camp, and I'm ready to announce one of them. We're not done yet, so if you are still interested in going, I have your name if you already told me that you were interested, but if you thought, oh, there's too many people, or my hands are greasy with pizza and I can't type right now, you still have a chance, so go ahead and let me know. I want to let Holly Blunt know that she's going to Jira Boot Camp, so we will reach out to you after this, Holly, but we're very happy to welcome you to Boot Camp.
That's exciting. I actually got to meet Holly at Teams.
Did you really?
Hi, Holly.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, she watched Brian's talk. I met her over there.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, appreciate the questions. I do want to keep on track here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move into our next demo, which is incident management. So I'm going to jump back out here to my portal. And again, I am saving the best demo for last. It's actually my favorite around automating change requests for change management. So I'm going to jump into incident management though, and talk a little bit about what that is. So incident management is the practice of responding to unplanned outages or interruptions to services that you might be offering to your customers or internal services, such as your network, your infrastructure, what have you. If something goes down, you need to be able to notify the appropriate responding teams or service owners that, hey, there was some sort of outage. Quickly, please resolve this for the sake of our customers. And what we're going to be looking at throughout the course of this demo is we're going to use Jira Service Management. But also included in the standard pricing of Jira Service Management is is Opsgenie. So Opsgenie, at no additional cost to you guys, is included within Jira Service Management, and it really is an alerting tool. So it sits between you and your monitoring tools. So there are a massive list of integrations that I will show you that integrate to Opsgenie to connect your monitoring tools to, so that if a service or a web page or a network that you're monitoring does go down, that'll automatically create an alert within Opsgenie and notify the appropriate teams, as well as creating a ticket in Jira Service Management and passing that information along. So, like I said, Opsgenie is included at no additional cost. And for those of you that might be thinking, oh my gosh, I pay for Opsgenie already, and I'm paying for Jira Service Management. Well, you're doing it wrong. No, I'm just kidding. You can merge those.
Don't worry, I got them.
Yeah, you can merge those accounts, and your Opsgenie licensing will be consumed by your Jira Service Management licensing. So if you do fall in that category, reach out to somebody like myself or Atlassian directly, and they can help you manage that merge of your Opsgenie instance. There is no additional rework. It's just going to be consumed under the same billing structure. So that's really exciting stuff. So jumping right into it now, I'm back on my IT help desk portal, and I'm actually going to come down here to this applications portal group, and I'm going to report a system problem. So if I come in here, I'm going to click into this, and this can be as complex as you'd like it to be, but again, because it's a demo, it is relatively basic. So let's say I'm experiencing a problem with the website or whatever. I might not know much about websites, I really don't, but I can't log into the website, right? And so I'm submitting some information. I can't log in. Some articles were displayed because I did use the website keyword, so add a gift card to the website. Or maybe this is actually my problem. The web store is down, so I could view this knowledge base article and say, hey, what's going on with that? But I'm going to move on, and I'm going to just provide a description because it is required. I'm not sure. That's why I'm asking you. And then down here is kind of another one of those special fields. It is kind of like an asset object field. Well, in reality, it is an asset object field, but it just works a little bit differently. And it's called, the name of the field is affected services, but what are built are services. And it is a Jira Service Management feature that you can enable. And it might just look like a custom field that is selected here, but it does quite a bit more, and I'm going to show you in a second. So my affected service actually is my website, and I can provide some other information. How urgently does this need to be fixed? Say critical, and how big of an impact is it? I'm going to say it's significant. And I'm going to go ahead and, as an end user, report a problem with my website. So now if I jump back to the agent side of Jira Service Management, everything looks kind of the same, but to the trained eye, it might look a little bit different. We have here listed out in the middle what is called our affected services. And well, I'm having a problem with my website, so I submitted that as my service that I'm experiencing a problem with. And it pulls out this service named website. And if I click into this, it shows that there are 2 open incidents currently on this website. So there's an incident that exists. One, I can't log into the website, which is what I just submitted. But the agent can see, oh man, there's 2 incidents. So there might really be a real problem with the website. I need to escalate this. Multiple people are impacted. I need to make sure that we get this thing resolved. So I, as an agent, can trigger this major incident toggle. And what it does here is it applies this label up at the top, and it routes it to a different queue to quickly identify our major incidents. Now you can run all sorts of automation off that to notify specific responding teams, maybe even key stakeholders of that website service. But the idea here is that you can quickly and easily enable and flag this as a major incident through that toggle. But there's so much more here. Using the incident management feature set of Jira Service Management, we have a whole lot of things that are disposable. I would say that this is the most feature-rich of everything that I'm going to show you today. So I have submitted my website as my affected service, which is the most important piece. But the name of the game around incident management really is to identify potential causes and get this thing up and running as quickly as possible. So Jira Service Management has included a bunch of new features to aid you in that journey. The first one I want to talk about is this investigate option. So up here, if I click this magnifying glass, it pulls up this timeline of events. And what this is a timeline and a history of past deployments. So I have my Bitbucket repository for my website service connected here, and I'm doing all of my change requests and software deployments out of Jira and in Bitbucket, so I can see all of my past deployments from the past week, from the past 12 hours, 24 hours, or jump back throughout time and see those past deployments and potentially identify these as potential causes. So I can now flag, sorry about that, I can flag this past deployment as a potential cause. Or I can, and now it just puts this little guy here, but I can also jump directly in Bitbucket from the ticket to that specific deployment and review the commit messages, see what was actually changed in the code, and hopefully identify, the reason that the website is down. There is no code here, by the way. It's just a loop that deploys things. But you could do that in a real life scenario and quickly get this service back up and running. So the investigate feature is awesome. Another one of my favorite features actually is this changes on affected services. So what this is this goes in and it finds all of the change requests that have been submitted with, for the website, so that we as agents that are trying to swarm around this incident and resolve it as soon as possible can jump back in and say, okay, this example change here was deployed within the last 24 hours. Let me jump into this change request that also exist in JSM and identify the impact, the urgency, what was changed, why it was changed, what was the backout plan, what was the test plan, who was involved, to see if that's a potential cause for my outage. So really cool stuff. I am realizing I'm kind of maybe getting a little close to time here. So I'm going to talk through Opsgenie really quickly and then turn it over for some questions so that I have time for my last demo. Down at the bottom, though, we now have a third comment option, and it's this ability to inform stakeholders. So on our affected services, which I've talked about, and they live over here, we can build out all the services that we actually monitor. And in this case, I'm building out, I have an incident on my website, and I can list out my service relationships. So, the website actually depends on my payment system, which is kind of weird, my inventory system, and my loyalty program. And so we can see upstream and downstream dependencies on our service relationships. And then over here, we can capture some additional information. So the tier of service, this is a tier 1 service. The owner team, the team that owns this, so IT operations, we can see the repository that's linked. And if we have it linked to Compass or other tools, we would see that as well. But we can also list out stakeholders on these services as well that might be outside of Jira, or might be within Jira, but they're a specific subset of users. So rather than trying to mention all of those people, I can press this Inform Stakeholders button, and I can provide what looks to be more like an email update to those listed out stakeholders and notify them of, hey, this is what's going on. We'll keep you up to date, what have you. So talking through kind of everything else that's happened here, we haven't seen it yet, but an alert was created over in Opsgenie and has notified the appropriate responders that, hey, there's an incident going on with this service. And we'll take a look at that in a second, but I want to just talk through some of the other features that are included at no additional cost to JSM, and that is this conference bridge, which is powered by Opsgenie. So if I say start a conference call, what it's going to do is it's going to take me to Opsgenie, and it's going to create a conference bridge specifically for this incident. And people, anybody involved, can come to the ticket at any time and join the conference bridge to hopefully resolve this issue. And this conference bridge will exist for the life of the ticket. So anybody at any time can come to the ticket and join this incident command center over in Opsgenie. So it is, looks like I'm blocking this camera for some reason, but you can come in. All of the chat that is actually that happens in that conference bridge will be recorded in your incident summaries, and you can use that to manage your post-incident reviews, export all that to Confluence, all that good stuff. Moving a little fast here, but we have the ability to automatically create a chat channel in Slack. So if you guys are using Slack, you can create automation that says, when an incident is raised and it's critical, automatically create a channel around that in Slack so everybody can work there as well. That applies to Microsoft Teams as well. And if you are using Zoom, you can connect to Zoom and have your conference bridge live there as opposed to Opsgenie. But Opsgenie works well, and it is included, so you don't necessarily need Zoom in that. But currently, Slack and Teams are the only two chat tools that exist to be able to create a channel around that incident. All right, so let's hop over to Opsgenie really quick and just do a brief dive. Over here to the left, there is this alerts section. And we can see, when it opens, a history of the alerts that have been raised. So here's my alert. I can't log into the website. And I can see some information around that. I can see the responder team that's been notified, the owner team, the ticket number, the description, the Opsgenie's priority, as well as some information that we've decided to sync from JSM. We can also see the linked Jira Service Management ticket here as well, so we can quickly jump back and forth between the two. And then we can see the activity log of this incident. So we can see that I've actually just viewed this ticket on the web, as well as the responder state. So Brian is actually currently the one on call, but he hasn't done anything with it. But Wade has actually physically laid eyes on this alert, so there's no hiding from it now. Everybody's going to know if he doesn't take this on, that's his fault. But I can acknowledge this alert, and everybody will know that, hey, I've got this one, I'm on it. So quite a few things you can do here. You can take notes on the ticket, and these will be copied as comments back and forth to Jira Service Management, and they'll also be included in that incident summary. We can add attachments, and we can run actions that are scripted and playbook actions to maybe do something. So like if my website lived on my AWS server, I could create an action that maybe was a script to restart AWS, and I could do that directly from my phone if I know that this is a known problem, and that's the workaround, that's the fix. So a lot of power in Opsgenie here, but it is all centered around the team itself. So if I jump into the teams, we have my IT Ops team. And this is really what's going to power Opsgenie. So we get a built-in on-call schedule, escalation policies, routing rules, and a whole bunch of other really fun features within Opsgenie. So
your definition of fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Geek.
Yeah,
Jira
Geek. Right,
yeah. Jira Geek.
Right. But really quickly, and then I'm going to open it up for questions here. Again, Opsgenie is an alerting tool, so it sits between you and those monitoring tools that you have. So that's going to create the alerts. Opsgenie is just going to send that alert out. Now, I'm going to scroll down this list of integrations. I'm sure everybody is going to see something that they have within this list. I mean, all the big players are here. We've got AWS, Datadog's here, GitHub, GitLab, Jenkins is here, SolarWinds, Nagios, all the fun people are here. And then you can integrate that with Opsgenie. So all that to be said, it is included in your tier of Jira Service Management, and it is a nice and robust alerting tool. So I know that was a little quick, but I am running a little short on time.
Before we run out of time, I do want to say, Zach Clayton, we would love to send you to Jira Bootcamp. I'm sorry, Jira Service Management Bootcamp. And then just for fun, Alex Wages, we'd love for you to come also. So I'll follow up with all three of you. That was Zach Clayton, Alex Wages, and Holly Blunt after the event.
Right on. Well, congrats, guys. If I met you at Teams and I don't remember, sorry, but I'm excited to maybe get to meet you at the Jira Service Management Bootcamp. So I've got a couple questions here. First one says, might be a complicated question, but if a monitoring tool creates an alert in Opsgenie, will those alerts show up in the affected services section of a Jira Service Management ticket? Good question. The answer is yes, but you have to build it. So depending on the integration, you can set up incoming rules. And when that alert is created, you can populate the field of affected services when that ticket's created in JSM. So it's kind of a three-step process, but yes, that alert comes in, matches some variant of criteria, and it will pull that affected service onto the alert and then onto the ticket in JSM. But it does require some build out there. It is out of the box, but it's kind of a deeper, more advanced configuration. Next question, can Opsgenie generate a root cause analysis report once the event has been resolved? Yeah, so let me really quickly, well, it won't auto-generate the root cause. You can build automation that will, but just showing you really quickly kind of what's possible here. I can create a post-incident review for my incident directly from the incident ticket itself. I could give it a summary, or I could automate a lot of this. I'll just say example PIR, because I'm lacking inspiration. And now I can provide all of the information that maybe I need to, but if I create this post-incident review, and now I jump over to this, what's going to happen is, give it a second, there's going to be this incident timeline here that we can view an entire ongoings of the incident itself. So from its creation, anybody that worked on it, all of the comments, Anything that changed for that ticket is going to all be included on this timeline. And then there is an incident summary over here to the right. Normally these are much more populated, but because I didn't take any action on this incident, there's not a whole lot here. And then all of these post-incident reviews can live and be published over in Confluence. So you can quickly export all of this information over to Confluence if that's where you're going to be managing your post-incident reviews. Now, kind of what you were asking around workarounds, that kind of gets into the whole problem management conversation, which isn't something we were really going to dive deep into because it doesn't have a unique, like a very specific feature set within JSM. But if you are doing problem management, you can create a problem ticket also from that incident. So we'll say,
I thought it was gonna have my name in it.
I'm stressed for running out of time.
If only.
And within problem management, I just created this kind of on a whim, so not a lot's happening here, but it would pull in the service that was experiencing a problem, and you can choose to auto-populate, the root cause or publish a known workaround. So hopefully that answers your question. I'm going to do a couple more because change management's kind of is a little bit in the weeds, and I want to make sure we get to that. Yes, can PIRs be handled in JSM instead of moving to another Jira app? Yep, lives directly in that IT service desk project and can be created directly from the incident itself. All right, so we are going to jump to change management. This is my my favorite demo of all of them. Change management in JSM, just at a high level, what you're going to get with that is an automated risk assessment tool, as well as a designated change calendar. Okay, so if I jump back out to my portal and submit a change request manually, we'll walk through that really quickly. But what I want to show you in the course of this demo is the efficiency gains of automating change requests using Bitbucket, automation for Jira, and JSM. So down here, I can request a change. It's another request type we have on our portal, and I can give it a summary. So we'll say change to website, because that's what I'm experiencing an incident with right now. And I can give it some information, big change. I can choose that affected service. I can choose the affected service, which is my website, specify whether it's a standard, normal, or an emergency change, the impact, the urgency, the risk, all the good stuff here. I'm not going to do that for the sake of time. But I'm going to submit this ticket, and because I said that this was a normal change, it actually needs to go through my CAB approval process. So for those of you that maybe aren't aware, change advisory board, typically for organizations following more of that ITIL framework, they will have a change advisory board that are reviewing changes being made to like tier 1 services. So that will have to be approved prior to being implemented. So Jira Service Management, what it's doing, and let me add really quickly a planned start and planned end. It's gonna be a long change. So basically the automated risk assessment tool is going to search for some certain fields on your change that was submitted. It's going to look for the planned start and planned end dates to be filled out. And all it's checking for there really is, hey, are there any conflicts on the change calendar that might impact that change? And I've got a green check mark there, which is saying, nope, there's nothing else scheduled, no other changes scheduled in this window. So feel free to proceed if you approve with everything else. But I am getting a warning saying that there are actually 2 open incidents on your website affected service. So we might not want to approve this change right now because there's a problem going on and we don't know what it is.
Awesome.
Or maybe this change is to fix those problems and we do want to approve it and we do want to make this change. But what this is doing is it's quickly calling out that, hey, there are 2 incidents. Take that into account when you're reviewing this change, and you are taking it to CAB for approval. And then the next big feature really is our change calendar. So you do get an integrated change calendar within Jira Service Management, and it does auto-populate based on the planned start and planned end dates of your change. So we can see that listed out here. And if I click into it, I can see some information such as the status, those planned start and planned end dates. It's going to take us 241 hours to make this change, which is wild. And then some other additional information. But that's going to be that out-of-the-box feature set. And I will say that the change management process that is out of the box within JSM is really, 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 really good. And the change calendar works quite well as the risk assessment tool, so long as you are using those affected services appropriately. But the exciting piece of today really is bringing in the full Atlassian suite of products to manage your development lifecycle. So we are going to do a demo, 2 separate demos relating to change management. The first one is how we are automating standard changes within Jira and JSM. So a standard change is a change that it's a known change. It does not require an approval process. It is low risk, and it's being made to maybe a tier 3 service, not something business critical. So we actually don't need to slow down that development cycle by making stakeholders review all of this change documentation. We say we've got a standard change. We know what it's going to. Go ahead and just make it happen. Just make sure that we're recording that change. So using automation for Jira, Bitbucket, and JSM, we're going to automate that entire deployment cycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to my my software project. And right now, let's just pretend like I'm a developer, and I've been tasked with updating our payroll system so that I can now pay people in euros. I don't know, kind of an interesting use case, but we did just, never mind. Anyways.
Good story.
So,
and then he found $20.
Yeah, $20 goes a long way. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and add the euro to our payroll service. So if I'm a developer, I'm going to jump over to Bitbucket, and I'm going to come to my repository, my website's repository. And so now, being a developer, I'm going to go in and, oops, so sorry. I'm just going to quickly adjust some code. Really, it's not code at all, it's just text, but we're going to pretend like it is code. So I'm just going to add my name here. So I'm just making a commit here. And one really cool thing is I can, in my commit message, I can say, you know, adding euro to payroll system. And then I can provide my, I can include my issue key for my story, which is SSP-72. So if I come back to Bitbucket, and we'll just say SSP-72. And that's going to link my commit message to my, my Jira software ticket, or my Jira software issue. And now we can see that if I check my pipeline view of Bitbucket, this is currently being deployed right now. And I can view that if I wish, but it's currently testing and then building and then deploying. But if I come back to my software ticket, what I'm seeing, if I refresh my screen, is just as a quick tidbit of information. give it a second. There has been one commit to this story here that I'm working on. So I could jump in, view this commit message, view the commit if I wanted to, any branches, pull requests, what have you. That, hey, I'm adding the euro to the payroll. So all of that information is captured on the story. And now you might be thinking to yourself, why are you telling me about Bitbucket deployments when we're talking about change requests? Well, it is a standard change, and we do want to actually track and manage this change for auditing purposes, for history, you name it. So currently, my change in Bitbucket has been successfully deployed. And now what you did not see is in the background, automation for Jira ran, and it automatically, let's see, give me a second. I don't think it's done. Give me 1 second. It's still deploying, even though it says it's deployed. Let me give that a refresh. Okay, there it goes. So now if I come back to my IT service desk, I should be able to come over here. Oh, I'm so silly, guys. I'm so sorry. I made the change to my website and not my payroll service. Sorry, the automation's only built around the payroll. So going back through that, I'm gonna change. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna change this and make another commit. And now what we will see if we do wait another second. Feel free to laugh or add something witty to the questions.
It's nice to see that you're human. I really did give you a big build up, but he's not a robot.
I just got excited talking about the website, but we're making changes to the payroll system. I think we got paid the other day, actually, which is great.
Love when that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this should be deployed in just a second. And this is the rough part of this demo because it all takes a little bit of time. So I need to come up with some filler information while it's happening. But do feel free to be asking questions.
We have one that I think, maybe you can answer in the time. How does an incident get escalated to other teams? For example, the incident is created with the help desk. They need to escalate it to a server team.
Yeah, a couple different ways you can do that. You can have a field within Jira Service Management to route it to a specific teams, like a specific team's queue. Or you can add what is called a responder. So if you have that team built out over an Opsgenie, you can select the responder team and add that team so that they are notified on that incident as well. Or over an Opsgenie, if you're managing that alert lifecycle there, from Opsgenie specifically, you can add add a responding team there, and that will route to the team's queue over in JSM. So a lot of different ways to do that. But all right, jumping back to our demo here, I do think I got it figured out because I made the change to the right, from the right repo, and we can see here that deployment 39 was just automatically created for me. So it says deployment 39 for the demo payroll system to our production environment. It went in and it fully created this change request automatically. So it lists out the deployment. I can click into that and it'll take me back over to Bitbucket if I did want to view it. It automatically pulls the affected service, which was my payroll system. That's the change that I'm making, or that's the service that I'm making a change to. so that if an incident's ever raised, we can always see those changes that have been made to that payroll service. And because that service is a tier 3 service, the change type was automatically set to standard, and some other information was filled out automatically, so the change risk was low, and we can pass other information along. But when the change was successfully deployed, it automatically completed and resolved the change request, all without anybody having to do anything to it. So this just exists for auditing purposes, yeah, quite the efficiency gain.
It only is going to do that if you did it correctly.
Yes, yes. If you see, there's nothing that's going to save you if you just deploy something to the wrong from the wrong repo. That's on you guys. But anyways, but actually, speaking of that, kind of a nice lead into our next demo, and I didn't plan that. If you have a tier 1 service that you say, okay, this does need to go through an approval process because this can impact a lot of people, we would have actually caught that. And Automation for Jira and Bitbucket can help you with that. So we're going to pretend that I'm a developer now and I'm working on a bug that's in our mobile application. So our mobile application is a tier 1 service, and it does need to go through that more advanced approval process. So kind of the same thing here. I'm going to jump back to Bitbucket, and I'm going to come to my mobile app repo now to get it right. And I'm just going to make a commit just really quickly. Nothing exciting to see here.
Some great code.
I know. I wrote it myself. And I'm going to go ahead and make a commit to my from my mobile application repository to resolve this bug. And now we're going to look at kind of a blank screen for just a couple minutes because it's kind of exciting at one point. But we're currently deploying this this bug fix to production. And you might be thinking, oh man, that's a tier 1 service, and really that should be that should go through an approval process before anybody makes a change to it. Well, using Automation for Jira as well as Bitbucket, we can actually gate this change. So Bitbucket will not allow any changes, well, if you configure it this way, will not allow any changes to your production environment that have actually not been approved over in Jira Service Management. So you can see here, we just got done building, and now when it went to deploy, we've got an error message, and it says a change request is pending. So it's smart enough, with the logic built in to know, hey, this is a tier 1 service. We can't actually go ahead and deploy this until it's been approved. So what's happening in the background right now is a change request is automatically being created with all of the relevant information that I want to push, and it's notifying the members of CAB that, hey, there's this change request, we need to go in and approve it. So all of that's happening right now. Give me a second, let me refresh my screen. And this does take just a minute, but in a second we'll here we can view the change request directly from Bitbucket here. And we, as the developers, may be like, oh man, what's taking them so long, whatever. So we can see our change request was automatically created. It is a tier 1 service for us, so we constitute that as a normal change, and it is a critical risk. So it does need to be approved by our change advisory board. And so I, being a member of CAB, and you can see us all listed out here, I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to approve this change. And now throughout that CAB process, maybe I'm scheduling the change. Oh, we don't want to do it on Thursday. Maybe we want to do it on Friday. Or actually, we need this done right away. It's a bug fix. Let's go. I can actually transition this issue to implementing in my change management workflow. And if I jump back to Bitbucket, the change has already started deploying. all by flipping that status to implementing. So once this is actually successfully deployed, it will automatically let that change request know, close it, resolve it out, let the requester know, hey, this has been implemented, that bug should be fixed, you're good to go. So we'll give it just 1 second. Looks like it was successful. And now if I jump back to that ticket over here, we can see, oh, that's my payroll one. If I refresh my screen, we will see that that ticket has been transitioned to completed and has been resolved. So now our customer that raised this bug to us knows, yep, that bug is fixed. I can go enjoy my my mobile game now. So to kind of round that out, that is automating standard and normal change requests using automation for Jira, Bitbucket, Jira Software, and Jira Service Management. So kind of the full suite of products. But it really awesome efficiency gains there, as well as some good governance around deployments being made, as well as tracking and managing those change requests. And it can really alleviate your developers or whoever it is in your organization that is submitting those change requests from maybe not having to fill out those lengthy change request forms every time they need to make a standard change. So when I said earlier that the idea behind Jira Service Management is to accelerate the flow of work and visibility between development and IT teams, this is it right here. All really good stuff. So got about 15 minutes left. I might have gone a little quick in there, but sometimes this one takes a little bit longer. So I do want to just open the floor up to you guys and answer your questions. So
we've got another one.
Looks like we got one here. Okay, so if possible, after change management and have the time, could you show an example of an exported PIR to Confluence? Yeah, certainly. I actually don't have a space, so I'm gonna what I'm gonna do really quickly is come to my PIR, and I'm just gonna stick it somewhere. Let's see. So typically in Confluence, you would already have a space designated for PIRs. I don't have that created in my demo, so just bear with me real quick. So I'm gonna say export to Confluence. And normally, I would say, actually, why don't I do this? I'll add it to my personal space. I don't have a page for it. Let's see, we'll give it a title and we'll say PIR dash ITSD. I don't know, give it a name. And then I'll export that to Confluence. And now it's going to nicely format the summary as well as all of that relative information. So in my Confluence space where I'm managing my incidents, managing PIRs, this is all kind of automated and templatized for you. We've got the date that it was created, the day that it ended, the time it took to resolve, who it was assigned to, who raised it, so on and so forth. And then all of the actions that were taken, if there were any, in our case there weren't, can be added here. That summary, you name it, can all just be exported to Confluence and managed there very quickly. Hopefully that is what you were hoping to see there. Got a question here. Sorry. What about infrastructure type changes? How did those work? How robust is the reporting functionality for auditors auditing the change control process? Not entirely sure what you're getting at about infrastructure type changes. So if you're going to be making a change to like a server, for example, that is not as seamless and as streamlined as that software change. So if you're making a change to your infrastructure, you would go in through the portal and you would submit a change request, and on the in the form that you're filling out, you would actually tap into your CMDB, assuming that those servers or whatever you're making a change to in that infrastructure would be listed out there. So you'd pull out of your CMDB, which would live in your assets database, that you were making a change to that, whatever it was, and then you would submit your change request, and it might go through approval just like everything else would. And then reporting on that is just as you would report on any change. You'd have a complete change history for that server. So like, for example, if I were to come up to my CMDB here, and we'll say that, let's see, maybe I don't know if I have a great example of this. Let's say that I'm making, yeah, I don't have anything listed out. Let's say that I'm making a change to my SQL server here. I can, sorry. When you submit that change request and you pull this SQL server or this SQL database, when you select that on the form, it will automatically add that change ticket. I don't know what's going on with my screen. It'll automatically add that change ticket down here for reporting and auditing purposes. You can also create dashboards or reports around the actual infrastructure object itself that a change has been made to, and report in that manner. Also, what a lot of people are doing lately for more advanced reporting is they connect BI tools to Jira, so Tableau or Power BI, you name it, and manipulate that data somewhere else if you're doing some more advanced reporting. Hopefully that answers that question. Got another one here. Can the change calendar be exported to an iframe to be shared, or is there a native share feature for people not using the service manager? A good question. So let me jump back to my change calendar. So the change calendar itself natively cannot be exported. Now, I will say I've never looked at the API documentation around the change calendar itself. However, if the APIs do exist, you might be able to pull this information and display that somewhere else. But what I will say is all of this information on the change calendar is powered by the information that's in the field. So the planned start date, all of this is accessible through the APIs, and you can write a script to pull all of this information out of Jira related to your changes and populate that in some other shared calendar or shared feature that fits your needs, and manipulate that however you'd like. But the calendar itself does not have an export feature. Let's just say that. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any other questions roll in. There might be some, but I really quickly want to take this time to thank you all for taking the time to join and listening to everything I have to say. Also want to thank Elizabeth for putting this wonderful event together. Sadly, I have to run to a meeting, but I think its camera's off, so I'll be stuffing my face in between sentences with my pizza.
I want to thank the people we have behind the scenes who are helping to answer. The ITSM team is behind the scenes to make sure that Wade's you didn't get too full. Wonderful job. Wonderful job. If you have anything else or think of anything else, you can reach out to Wade. You can reach out. The very easiest email address I have to share is team, team@xpm.com. We will get you routed to the right individuals to help you.
Right on.